What's going down, D-Gens? Finally, actually giving you some real content other than just the picks. Honestly, for a little bit there, didn't want to mess up the mojo. So we had two quick picks or just like shorts that I was putting out. Went 7-0. That was awesome, all the way up through Thanksgiving. And then the Sunday after Thanksgiving, everything kind of went to shit. We ended up going like 1-4. But again, don't mess with the JoJo, with the mojo when it's not, everything's going right. So, anyways, it finally fucked up, and so I'm going to change it up again. Now, let's take a look at some of the picks for this week. I'm going to try to get into this kind of quick, guys, to not take up all your day. Number one, I put this out, I want to say Monday morning. Falcons under 20.5 team total points is my favorite pick for this week. Couple reasons on this. So number one, I'm sure everybody's heard about, Kirk Cousins and how he can't throw and he's looked like crap. He hasn't thrown a touchdown in the last like 3 games or whatever. That's all, great. That's kind of the talking point, but that's not really why I'm making this the pick or why I'm just, it's not a one reason kind of deal here. It's true. He hasn't looked good, but what's also true is that he is not mobile for shit. I have seen people on those Life Alert commercials look more mobile than Kirk Cousins. So he's going to be in a real world of shit this come Sunday because the Vikings blitz at an extremely high rate, almost like 40%. I mean, they send the heat more than anybody else in the NFL. So that Falcons offensive line has been okay, but they also haven't really, had a lot of big blitzing teams come up against them. And in this game, I expect them to make some adjustments. I think that they are going to, try to get some quick passes off. And if you wanted to go with Drake London over his reception totals, I wouldn't hate that. And I actually might sprinkle some on that myself. The problem is I definitely am not doing yards. Don't do yards with Drake London or any of the receivers because they may get 20 different, receptions, but each one at this point is going for like 3 to 5 yards. They're not really going down the field. If you've been taking a look at this Falcons team and watching it, they are a slow playing team, and really everything is just so damn horizontal with this team. And they've been like this all year. It's not anything new. It's not anything different. They've been like this the entire year. They've been trying to rely on, Bijan and their running game and kind of going sideways. And it works really, really well when teams play zone against them. Zone defense, they can beat all day. Because with the zone defense, you're giving people a little bit of a cushion. So when they throw bubble routes or, horizontally or screen routes, you have a little bit of open space there to work with. And Kirk Cousins is playing like, a veteran quarterback. He's going to take the open guy that's 3 yards from the line of scrimmage because you gave him some cushion, the quick little easy slant routes. What he can't do, or what they don't do well against, is the man defense, because now you don't have that cushion to work against. Now Kirk Cousins isn't finding little open windows, close to the line of scrimmage, especially when they're pressing. And if you have him hold the ball, if he's not 1-2 out with Kirk Cousins, now you have a blitz in his face, and that's going to be an issue. And so on top of all of that, you also have a young Huku who is just struggling. If you watch these Falcons games, those kicks are worse than any other time I've ever seen this guy. And Koo is like one of my favorite kickers. Used to be real clutch. I'm not sure what was going on with him, but he's just not had a great year this year. He's really struggling, especially from anything really like beyond 40, 45 yards. It's been kind of iffy. That being said, there is one other piece here, and that is the red zone percentages. So Falcons right now, if you're looking at the screen, red zone touchdown percentage. So every time they get to the red zone, 25% of the time they are scoring. So 1 out of 4 trips into the red zone are actually resulting in a touchdown. So 75% of those either not scoring at all or they're coming away with just a field goal. So that's a huge note just because the Falcons, they haven't played like monster defenses all year. So one thing to note is just their red zone issues. It's going to be a problem. That's why a lot of their games end up like last week, 17-13, 14-10, that kind of thing. That's why I usually like the unders for these games in general. This week, though, the Vikings, if you scroll down a little bit, they are one of the purple teams. The Vikings allow only a 40% touchdown rate in the red zone. That's not the absolute lowest. There's other teams that allow lower, but that is pretty damn good. They are above average at stopping people in the red zone. So you have an above average red zone defense playing a struggling red zone offense with a quarterback that's not mobile, against a defense they don't do well against, with a field goal kicker who has been struggling. I love this Falcons under 20.5 points. I really have them projected for like 17, and that's max. It's really, I would say the window is like 10 to 17, depending on if they get that touchdown or if they continue to have to settle for field goals. So, the Falcons under 20.5. The other play I like is Tony Pollard over 69.5 rushing yards. If we look at the defensive weakness schedule here, and yes, this week I'm actually showing you some numbers, guys. This is, should be the bread and butter most of the time. They are playing Jacksonville this week. Jacksonville, if you look at your screen here, they're weak against pretty much everything, but they are allowing 4.2 points above average to fantasy running backs. Tony Pollard has been doing very well this year. He's had a off game or two, but for the most part, he's really, really good in fantasy. He's racking up stats left and right, and this Jacksonville team has just not shown a real propensity to be able to put any kind of defense together when it comes to stopping the run. So we're gonna like Tony Pollard over his 69.5 yards. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going through some screens here. 69.5 yards. He should be the focal point of this game. And honestly, I don't know if they are going to win or lose or not. That's why I'm not taking the side in this game. Both those offenses are just kind of wishy-washy. But whether they are winning by 10 or they are losing by 3, which is really the only two, I don't see them getting completely blown out by the Jaguars here, since the Titans' defense is pretty stout. This is going to be a Tony Pollard game. If they're up, they're going to be running the ball to try to milk the clock. If they are down, but they're still within range, they're not going to stop running the ball and try to put everything on Will Levis. This is going to be a Tony Pollard game. He's going to get his yardage. Give me the over prop in that game for his 69.5 rushing yards. Also like the Browns-Steelers over 43 points. You are going to have to buy it down by about a point right now, but we just saw these two teams play. What do we know about rematches? Number one, the score typically goes up from the first game, and it's typically by about 2 touchdowns. Number two, we know that the rematch typically goes to the loser of the first game when it's a short turnaround time, just like this one is, which means the Steelers are probably going to win this game. And if you wanted to decide, I would definitely be going to Steelers. Number three, we know that first game they put up, I forget exactly what it was, but over 30-something points in a absolute snowball kind of game. And now they're going to be playing in much better weather. Everybody's healthy. Jameis has just put out a huge day last week. The Steelers' offense looked amazing against the Bengals. They're going to try to keep this train rolling, and the Steelers are going to have to put up some points because that Browns offense knows how to score, even against a tough defense like Pittsburgh. Give me the over 43 in that game. And then I believe there is one last play. Oh, that's right. We got the Bengals and Cowboys over 50 points. Going back to the red zone percentages here, Bengals are scoring 75% of the time when they get into the red zone. And also important, they are allowing teams to score touchdowns 70% of the time when the opponent gets into the red zone. Dallas, on the other hand here, is only scoring 50% of the time when they get in the red zone. But again, keep in mind that Dallas can really score from like the 50-yard line with Brandon Albury. And Dallas is allowing their opponents to score 75% of the time when they get in the red zone. So I don't think either one of these defenses is going to step up to the challenge this week. We know the Bengals can put up points. We know their offense is really their bread and butter. That's how they have to win if they're going to win. Maybe they're checked out. Maybe they're not. But either way, these guys are still playing for those bonuses. They still want to hit their marks. They still want to get their money. I don't think anybody is going to just go out there and walk around all damn day. This is going to be a high-scoring game. Neither of those defenses are going to be able to do much of anything against the other. Cooper Rush is the only concern I have in this game, is if he can keep going the way he's been going. CeeDee Lamb should be okay for this game. He should be, all right. If we get news that CeeDee Lamb is not playing, or somebody else there's a major injury, Zach Martin did get announced as out because he's out for the end of the year here. I don't foresee that having a big outcome or a big issue because the Bengals' defensive line is not great anyways. If we hear something about CeeDee Lamb or Rico Dowdle or one of their skill position guys, I may look to just do the Bengals team total over 27.5. But as of right now, we're going to take the game over 50 points. I have this game projected at like a 34-27, 34-24 kind of game with the Bengals winning. So those are the picks for this week, guys. Thank you for being patient with me. Let's get some money this week, and y'all have a great day.